Alright, playing Pauper, match 1. We're on the draw. We have no red sources, but we do have a good hand apart from that. When we find red, we can sacrifice this Wellspring to the Rebirth. In the meantime, we can pick it up with Core Skyfisher, so we're going to keep. Alright, we're playing against Goblins, so we probably need to crack this Rebirth of our own as quickly as possible, so we can mount a defense against them. If we're really in trouble, we might actually play this Core Skyfisher on turn 2 to block and have to pick up a land because of it. Alright, Bushwhacker comes in. We get whacked down to 15. And now the question becomes, can we take a turn off? We could play a Wellspring this turn, and then even if we don't draw a red next turn, we can play Prophetic Prism and then filter a white mana into a red for Rebirth. Alternatively, we could just play Core Skyfisher this turn and be forced to pick up a land. I think I'm going to go with the slightly longer route. If our opponent just has a bolt or something to move the Skyfisher out of the way, it's a lot better to wait and make multiple blockers with the Rebirth. So I think I'm going to try that. Alright, Mod Conscripts. Inner Flame Acolyte. Evoked, okay. To give target creature +2/+0 in haste. Alright. Taking 7 down to 8. And our opponent still has 3 cards in hand. Alright. So here I could play the Skyfisher, but I think it's a lot more important to be able to make multiple blockers in case they have some sort of removal. So I'm going to play the Prism, filter to red mana, and Rebirth, sacrificing this Wellspring. And hopefully that, combined with Skyfisher into multiple removal spells next turn, will be enough to buy me some time. Valley Dasher, okay. Alright, so I'm going to be trading off with 2 different things here, I believe. I could keep around the attacks each turn if able, since it's better with the Skyfisher on the board. I also like leaving a Mod Conscript in the Goblin cohort to force them to cast a creature spell first before they attack, though. So I think I'm going to do it like that. Fall down to 4. A dangerous place to be sure. And they Fire Blast us out of the game. Okay. Good to know they play Fire Blast in their Goblins deck. Alright, so against Burn, and specifically Goblins, Electrickery actually doesn't work that well against them. Even though they have a lot of 1-drops, they typically have 2 toughness. These are the cards I'm interested in. And what is going to come out for them is the question. So I think I'm going to cut 1 Bone Splitter, 1 Prophetic Prism, and let's make it 2 Prophetic Prisms, and an Angelic Purge. I just don't have enough time to be setting up the card draw with the Prisms, and the Purge also takes a little bit of time since I need something I want to sacrifice first. Alright, we get to be on the play, which is great, of course. And this is a hand I will keep. I'm going to save this Forgotten Cave. This way I can go turn 1, Lightning Bolt a creature, turn 2, Prophetic Prism, and then turn 3, pick up the Prism with the Glinthawk. Alright. This isn't a very scary creature since it requires them to have a haste creature next turn in order for it to do anything, but I'm still going to get rid of it now when I have my mana available. Kuldotha Rebirth means I can sacrifice a land or this prism if I want to. Mog Conscripts and Goblin Cohort. So there's apparently more creatures coming. So now I can rebirth this turn or I can wait. I like the idea of waiting a turn. I want to draw a little bit more first. So I'm going to Glint Hawk, return Prism, replay that, and then I can rebirth next turn. I think it won't hurt me too badly to wait a turn to get these blockers down. This Forgotten Cave is probably going to end up getting cycled at this point. Alright, another cohort. Definitely going to trade off here. Alright. The nice thing about these all being the same is that they requires them to play a creature spell every single turn to keep these useful. Which isn't too difficult for them to do, but it's nice to know part of what their game plan is going to be. Alright, let's lead with Prophetic Prism. And then I might be playing 2 Rebirth here, or I might have a different plan. I think double Rebirth makes the most sense. It lets me sacrifice these things that I don't really need. It lets me get the goblins onto the table as soon as possible. Since I have no red spells at all in my hand, I'll still have enough red mana most likely. Unless I need to cycle this cave and play another red spell on the same turn. Lets me block all of these goblins if I need to, so that's what I'm going to go with. Valley Dasher, okay. And I see no reason to leave any of these around that I can get rid of, so block like that. The opponent is down to 3 cards in hand. Alright. So we could leave up Lightning Bolt right now if we wanted to. I think we'll do that. And we can also cycle this Forgotten Cave if we change our mind. Alright. Get rid of this. Alright. Just keep on passing the turn. Need to draw some action. Inner Flame, okay. Probably going to target itself. So I'll bolt that to save ourselves 4 points of damage. And also get rid of the 2/2 permanently since it was not evoked this time. These gain lands are nice since we gain a life, but we really need something better than that. We need to draw some creatures or something. Lone Missionary would be great. Circle Protection Red would be great. Alright, there comes another Inner Flame. Unfortunately, this Angelic Purge is sorcery speed. And we draw junk again. I think we're going to be forced to get rid of a land here just to slow down this damage since we die in 3 turns if we don't remove something. And with 3 cards in hand and them drawing to 4, they can most likely speed that up by a turn or 2. Two mana, 2/2 haste. Okay. Alright, Lone Missionary. Just what the doctor ordered. Let's see if it's good enough. Alright. We don't get to block, unfortunately. And here comes another haste creature, so we're dead next turn unless we can do something. Forgotten Cave. One more shot. Well, I suppose we're not technically dead, since if they don't cast a creature spell, the Goblin cohort can't attack, but if they don't have a creature spell, that means they have burn in hand, so. Alright, Goblin Heel Cutter. We have fallen to Goblins after drawing way too many lands in game 2. Alright, and we are on to match 2.